Ross Perot's statement that he would not have homosexuals in his cabinet if he were president is not sitting well with voters in the gay and lesbian community. The sentiment was apparent at today's 17th annual Gay Pride Festival held here in the district. As Channel 5's Ron Talley reports, the crowd of some 200,000 was urged to get involved in the fall elections.
With bands and floats, marchers and more, the annual parade and festival has become a national celebration for gays and a sounding board for gay rights, breaking attendance records every year. And while the festival is meant to be fun, the real purpose is quite serious.
Pride equals power! Pride equals power!
With a theme of pride equals power, festival organizers want to convince the gay and lesbian community that it is fast becoming a force in society, a force for change, a voice in politics. With tens of thousands of potential voters here, festival organizers urge them to get involved in politics. But for Ross Perot, whose presidential candidacy is yet to be officially announced, support is waning with the gay and lesbian community. Gays and lesbians, once open to a Perot candidacy, quickly turned away with the Independent's bold statement that he would not have gays in his presidential cabinet.
I thought it was kind of a cop-out, because saying, well, I want to protect them because it would be too controversial. It would draw too much away from the position if we had somebody who was gay in it. And I just really think that's a real cop-out.
If they've risen to that level or consideration for that level, then they've already been scrutinized well in advance, and they know how to handle that level of intense, in-depth investigation and scrutiny.
Year after year at this festival, leaders have stressed that there is strength in numbers and that eventually the politicians would take gays seriously. An address by D.C. Mayor Sharon Pratt Kelly seems to indicate they were right.
I want immediate enforcement of the Hate Crimes Act of the District of Columbia. I'm going to be with you each and every day on each and every issue.
What sticks out about this festival compared to most others over the past 20 years is that gays no longer have to seek out the politicians. A growing number of those political leaders now come to them. In Washington, Ron Talley, Fox News.
Thousands of people attend the Black, Lesbian, and Gay Pride Day. There were dancers and food at the event, which drew people from as far away as Florida and Missouri. D.C. Mayor Sharon Pratt Kelly made an appearance, her first for her, and several other political candidates worked the crowd in a bid to garner support. Organizers hope to raise at least $50,000 to fund AIDS-related services.
Thousands of demonstrators marched through Washington for the annual Gay Pride Day parade. Secret Service agents could do little to stop protesters from decorating the White House fence with rubber gloves in a demonstration against an incident last week. Fox 5's Jan Smith reports.
Shame on the Secret Service! Shame on the White House!
Protesters say they passed out 2,000 pairs of rubber gloves, and they festooned the iron fence of the White House with latex in a demonstration mocking uniformed Secret Service agents wearing rubber gloves last week to greet a group of gay and lesbian leaders going through the megatometer at the presidential mansion.
Wear gloves when you write those big checks, okay? Wear those gloves when you write checks. That way, our campaign committee won't get AIDS. Okay? Hey, boys, this is our Secret Service latex gloves!
Participants in the annual Gay Pride Day parade say that Secret Service officials should be ashamed of the incident and that they remain insulted.
It's a lot of homophobia. It says that everybody who is gay has AIDS, and even if that were the case, people that have AIDS or HIV are not contagious in that way.
Secret Service Lieutenant S.A. Ferguson. What do you think about this whole controversy?
I find it humorous.
Do you think there's any justification for the sensitivity here? These people think that you are homophobic.
I personally find it misplaced, but that's because they don't know our procedures.
Ferguson insists it is Secret Service procedure to put on rubber gloves when officers decide it is, quote, appropriate to protect themselves. Do you think your officers felt they were in any danger of catching AIDS?
No, it wasn't AIDS. You can't catch AIDS that way. No, if they were worried about anything, they were worried about other contagious diseases like the flu or a cold, or I believe one officer said he had a cut, so he was just protecting himself as well as everyone else from anything he might have.
Protesters say they plan to collect rubber gloves distributed and address them to the director of the Secret Service, who has pledged to hold a special sensitivity session to clarify policy about appropriate use of latex gloves. The White House has already labeled the incident an error in judgment, but gay activists hope the president will now be provoked to give a national address on true AIDS prevention. In Washington, Jan Smith, Fox News.
Would you like to register for AIDS Walk? Would you like to register for AIDS Walk?
Thousands turned out for yesterday's 22nd annual Capitol Pride Festival in support of Washington's gay and lesbian community. Pennsylvania Avenue was packed with vendors, information booths, and lots of music. And of course, no festival would be complete without plenty of food. Many participants say the event fostered a sense of unity.
I think it's a good chance for everyone to see that, there are a lot of people who have something in common.
This is the way it should be. It's a beautiful Los Angeles has good ones. Long Beach has a beautiful. New York. The nation's capital should be the best, but it's going to take some time.
This year's event was co-sponsored by Bell Atlantic, the Whitman Walker Clinic, and the advocacy group 1 in 10.
It was a celebration and over the years has become a family affair here in the district and across the country. Pride has become more about celebrating the victories in the LGBT community.
Instead of being something that people are afraid of, that it is just for LGBT people, now it's for the entire community to come out and celebrate how we are all in the same community together.
Feeling like we're celebrating every walk of life, every person, place, and city of origin, and everybody's coming together to celebrate their pride.
These are the sights and sounds from the annual celebration of Pride here in the district. Colorful costumes, animated floats, and excited onlookers filled Northwest. More than 125,000 people are said to have attended tonight's parade, filled with nearly 200 floats. Now, despite the massive crowds, we're told there were no incidents or arrests, and the parade went off without a hitch. This year's theme was Make Magic Happen, highlighting the LGBT's power to influence change across the country and here in the community. We spoke with Washington Capitals player Braden Holtby, who says it was important to him to make a statement by attending this year's parade.
It's one of those statements that I think we have to make now, especially in sport. I think a lot of people look up to us, and a lot of people will be influenced by just seeing that we're normal people. We respect people's rights just like anyone else, and it's what we're trying to send across.
This is the Capitol Pride Parade's 41st year. It was free to attend the parade. The day started with a ticketed brunch with the parade's Grand Marshal, actor Leslie Jordan from Will and Grace. The festivities ended with a concert. You can check out more under the hashtag Make Magic Happen. Tisha Lewis, Fox 5 Local News.
It's a big weekend in the district. Capitol Pride has brought thousands of people here, and the theme this year is unapologetically proud. Earlier, the Capitol Pride Parade was in full swing on the streets of DuPont Circle. You could hear it from miles around.
Fox's Kristen Leone was there for all of the excitement today, and she reports from U Street, where it looks like the celebration is continuing.
Good evening. Not only a day to celebrate love, but a historic day right here in D.C. Again, celebrating all things equal and most importantly, again, in this case, love. But joining me now is Mr. Greg Nelson, who loves love, clearly, and created this beautiful creation in his front yard in celebration of today. I mean, tell me about, I don't want to block Dorothy or Glenda, but tell me about your creation here.
Well, here we represent Friends of Dorothy, which we know in the gay community is kind of a fun way of expressing our unique culture.
Okay.
And I actually do this for every holiday, and my philosophy in life is better with a theme. And this theme has kind of really exploded. We've probably had 500 people here today taking various photos, and the best is just to see the smiles and the ability to leave a thumbprint on people's memories when they've come to visit DC, especially DC Pride.
I love that. And bottom line, this showcases, again, love is love. The vibrancy, the culture, and just the fun of today and bringing people together.
Exactly. I've been with my partner for 21 years, and I advocate that love truly is love, and that we need more smiles in today's world, and we also need a lot more love.
And again, bottom line, when people walk onto your front yard, What feeling do you want them to get when they see all these characters and just all these colors?
I just want to see a big smile on their face. I like to see them with their cameras, and there's nothing better than when I walk into the front yard and see a group of people and people just say thank you.
Well, Greg, I've got a big smile on my face, so this is clearly working, and there were all smiles today on the streets in DuPont Circle. Take a look. Hundreds of thousands are coming out this weekend in D.C.
These people, they are my family.
Together, they're celebrating love. But more importantly, they're celebrating each other for who they are.
It's like such an immense amount of comfort to know that there is a community behind you.
Katie Redmiles has never been to a Pride event before, until now.
It's like kind of getting like a giant warm hug from thousands of people.
And she says the minute the parade started moving down the street,
I will admit I started to cry. I was like, I didn't expect this.
A feeling others also got once the music started playing.
Being a part of this type of environment, so inclusive, so loving, is so important, so special.
It's probably one of the most relevant times to be here.
Bottom line, they say, love is love, and it's worth the celebration.
There are so many people who will love you and do love you, and it only makes sense that love is accepted and cherished and celebrated.
Amazing, right? You even have Uncle Sam over there holding the flag. Just beautiful creation here, celebrating all things love here in DuPont Circle. But unfortunately, not everyone was out there celebrating today. There were some protesters out there marching against police brutality on minority groups with the hashtag No Justice, No Pride. So again, not everyone was celebrating out there. There were people out there using this opportunity to speak their piece or speak their mind on that. But hey, if you didn't get out there today, there are plenty of opportunities to celebrate this weekend. You have the Equality March starting tomorrow at 10 in the morning, and then following that is the Pride concert, which is from 2 to 8. So again, get on out there if you can. It's going to be an absolute beautiful weekend. We are here in DuPont Circle. Kristen Leone, Fox 5 Local News.
Tonight, LGBTQ-owned bars and nightclubs in D.C. gearing up for one of the busiest weekends of the year. It's Capitol Pride, and this is the first weekend D.C. will be fully reopened in terms of capacity for those spots. Fox 5's Evan Lambert is live in Northwest tonight with more on the story. Evan.
Angie, we are here outside Pictures and a League of Her Own. The decorations are up, and although this year there may be fewer celebrations in the streets, bars will play a bigger role. In just hours, drinks will line this bar at the Dirty Goose on U Street. Staff is preparing for a busy weekend and possibly a bigger role in Pride celebrations this year. Some of the largest events, like the annual Packed Pride Parade, are pared down.
It's kind of an all hands on deck situation.
Co-owner Justin Parker says in the last few weeks they've managed to staff up, decorate, and become more financially stable after months of restrictions and losses.
We were only open fully for 2 weeks, but it was our largest month ever since we've been established.
Pride celebrations and LGBTQ spaces almost feel more important in D.C., where about 10% of the population identifies as part of the LGBTQ community. But even with a broad customer base, some of these businesses have racked up debt, mostly in terms of rent adding up.
Luckily, we did have good landlords that worked with us, but now we have to pay the back rent. And that, yeah, we're going to have a couple of busy weekends.
But Pictures managing partner David Perusa says businesses like his need more help. The D.C. Nightlife Council and the Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington urging the mayor and D.C. Council to put relief funds toward helping places with the money owed on leases. They're all hoping a busy Pride might help too.
People have to now rely on the safe spaces they rely on 365, and those are the safe places to go during the weekend.
And Pride also about giving back. Pictures will host a car wash on Sunday. The proceeds going to charity. Back to you.
Well, it is Capitol Pride weekend in the district, with many celebrating and supporting the LGBTQ plus community. The Capitol Pride Parade returned today after a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Fox 5's Paris Jones live in Northwest right now.
with all the details on the celebration. Hey, Paris.
Yeah, we're near 17th Street and P Street Northwest, where the Capitol Pride block party just wrapped up. Take a look. They're wrapping up now and cleaning up out here after all of the festivities today. Now, so many people we spoke to were just happy to have the parade back in person.
Yeah, we've been in DC for like 7 years now, and yeah, this is just one of our favorite events in the city.
Yeah, it's great to be all back together after a couple years apart, and yeah, I love seeing Pride out here. Everybody celebrating who they are. It's awesome.
Happy Pride!
Thousands packing the Logan Circle and DuPont Circle areas of the district for the return of the Capitol Pride Parade.
We're showing that we're not going back in history, no matter what anybody out there in the country wants, and that we are valid in who we are.
The first time in 2 years due to COVID-19.
Yeah, it makes me feel free. I'm glad to be out in the world again.
It's the second Pride Parade for this couple. They tell me the last one they went to was before the pandemic.
This is our first time celebrating a Pride Festival as an engaged couple, so it's incredibly exciting. So to have this moment where we can feel free to be a couple feels absolutely wonderful.
They say the parade's return means everything to them.
There aren't enough words to explain how it feels to be able to come out and be 100% yourself.
And for many out here today, it was their first Capitol Pride Parade.
It's great to see that there are people here that are allies, as well as those who are here to celebrate who I am.
It's just amazing to be surrounded by so many people that are just so friendly and loving and supportive. So
this is my first. So I actually moved here just before the pandemic started. So this is the first time I've gotten to experience DC Pride.
What does it mean to you?
You know, DC has become like my home at this point, so this is the first time where I get to see the city really celebrate who I am. So I feel great about it.
And there are more events going on this weekend. Tomorrow, the Capitol Pride Festival starts at noon. It's going to be on Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. More information on that on fox5dc.com. Lindsay, back to you.